stepped up for me. I needed a lot of support. We had friends and family help with meals. They came with me to hospital visits. They certainly helped with our children. I needed physical therapy so I could rebuild my strength after pretty invasive surgery. I really took advantage at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute of complementary therapies at the Zakem Center. They had yoga, acupuncture, they had massage. They all were trying to help minimize the side effects that these toxic treatments can have on your body and your spirit. In these days of tight budgets and so many cuts around, these services are getting harder and harder to find, however. The Zakem Center is still going strong, but within our community, we've already seen the loss this year of the wellness community, for example. In Newton, that was a place that many of you know well, that provided all sorts of free support to cancer patients, support groups, yoga classes, painting, retreats. There are people that are working hard to keep it going, but this thriving center has been hit by these tough economic times. So that's why foundations like this are so important to try to fill some of those gaps. As I said, cancer just changes everything, and families desperately need programs to help keep it all together and to make sure that the youngest people affected by this stay strong and stay happy, and in some cases stay distracted when bad things are happening. I'm a 2.5-year survivor at this point. I was diagnosed in December of 2006. I know so many of you in this room miss Risa so terribly, and it's hard sometimes because I do feel a bit of survivor guilt. It's inexplicable to me that she's gone and I'm here, and it doesn't make any sense to all of you, and it doesn't certainly make sense to me. I'm here, and that's why I support the good work that you're doing. I try to give a voice to the millions of people who have faced cancer in their families and are trying to move on and trying to do something good with that experience, because it is a traumatic one. And you can either let it knock you down or you can let it make you tougher. And I think that's what we've tried to do, is get a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger, and a little more determined to make the world a little bit better. Mia and Olivia, you're obviously Risa's gift to the world, her most important legacy, and beautiful ones at that. But so is this foundation. This is a powerful expression of all of your love and support, and a family's determination that the journey be a bit easier for the next people who have to hear those dreaded words, "You have cancer." That's the end of my notes. The most important thing is that these two little people never have to deal with this disease. My little people are now 5 and 2.5. I look at them, and as they grow on, I know that we're all moving forward from this horrible disease. And we all need to stand together as a community to say, we will do what we can to eradicate cancer, and we will do what we can to make it easier for the next person. So I'm grateful you included me in this wonderful event and this wonderful foundation. I look forward to seeing the effects in our community quickly, because we need it. And I thank Channel 5 because they have supported me. I'm a reporter there, and they've supported me throughout my journey. And tonight I'm actually working, and they've allowed me to be here with you, and I'm grateful for their constant support. And now I need to go back to work because we've got swine flu and Boston Globe to save. So I know you'll forgive me if I'll go take care of that for a little while. Good luck, and thank you.
Thank you so very much, Kelly. I'd like to next introduce Risa's oncologist, Dr. Corey Cutler. Dr. Cutler joined the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in 2002. He is an assistant professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. He received his master's in public health from Harvard. Dr. Cutler graduated from McGill University's Faculty of Medicine. Dr. Cutler is now a family friend and has expressed interest in helping our foundation grow and succeed. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Corey Cutler.
That's just like that fall of swine flu. When Glenn and Gail initially asked me to speak here today, I thought this is no problem. I'm good at speaking in front of audiences. I put together 50 or 60 slides, put the talk down, and had it raptured for an hour. But actually I was told no slides. I got 5 minutes. And so actually I'm going to speak from the hip, or actually from the heart today. physicians, part of a broader healthcare team. And in that regard, I'd just like to acknowledge the presence of Julie Vander, who was with me and was Risa's special caregiver as well, and arguably cared more for Risa than anyone else did. So Julie's here, and she should just receive those. So Glenn and Gail asked me to speak a little bit about bone marrow transplantation, what it meant to Risa, what it meant to her family, and what it can mean to all of you. We've all been touched by cancer in some way, either through Risa or through someone else in our family or our circle of friends. And we all know about chemotherapy and radiation therapy and the devastating effects that it can have. But very few of us actually understand very well what bone marrow transplant is all about. Bone marrow transplant is used for individuals who have very advanced cancers, advanced forms of leukemia, lymphoma, or Hodgkin's disease. And it's used to try to harness the power of an immune system to treat the cancer that the patient could not unfortunately conquer themselves. And so in this case, Gail stepped up as a perfect match to be Risa's donor. Now what we do is we actually replace someone's immune system with that of their donor. And for the first while, the recipient of this brand new, infantile, minute piece of someone's immune system is simply incapable of preventing them from getting the common cold, getting a virus run rampant, or a simple skin infection cause a major problem. And so after bone marrow transplant, we put our patients in this bubble. It's the proverbial bubble boy that you all know of. And we put them in this bubble for 3 months, or 6 months, or 9 months, sometimes even a year or longer. And there are real medical consequences to being in that bubble. But within that medical bubble, all we have to think about is sort of the greater context, the social isolation that goes along with being put in that medical isolation. And when you're a young mother of 2 with a career and family and friends and a life outside of the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, this is a very hard pill to swallow, harder than anything we could prescribe. And so we told Risa that for the next 3 months or 6 months or a year, you cannot drive your daughters to practice, to play date, to soccer, to school, to a restaurant. You can't go to the grocery store, buy milk, eggs, bread. You can't go pick up Glenn's dry cleaning. You are homebound, and you are dependent upon the kindness of your family, your extended family, your friends, and your neighbors. And that's what people did in the context of Risa's illness. They stepped up. They came and they picked up the girls from school. They brought them to their friend's house. They brought over meals. They did a little light housework. They pitched in whenever they could. And the mission of the foundation in Risa's honor is to take that one step further and to help other families who are going through what Risa did, to help their journey a little bit. Now, Risa was fortunate enough to have a family and a greater community to pitch in for her, but there are many out there who do not. And so I think it's quite admirable that the goal of this foundation is to help other families cope with the impact of cancer on their daily lives. Glenn could have chosen to fund hardcore medical research. He could have chosen to fund clinical trials. There are 101 ways to make a difference when we're talking about cancer. But I think Glenn and Gail and Alan really thought, where can we make the greatest difference in the families of patients with cancer? And that is, we can help patients with cancer by helping their families out in a time of need. I think it's a great testament to Risa that you're all here today to support that mission and that foundation. I'm very pleased and honored to have cared for Risa and hopefully moving forward to help out with the foundation in any way I can. And I look forward to working with Glenn, Gail, Alan, and all of you to making this foundation a success and helping some families out with cancer. Thank you very much.
Gail, I hope you're still there. Thank you, Corey. Next, I'd like to introduce Heartbreak graduate Charlotte Halloran, Heroic Journey graduate Joe Coffey to say a few words. Heartplay in Wayland is where my daughters and I go to receive bereavement counseling. My daughters and I enjoy and look forward to attending these sessions. Heartplay uses the creative arts to help children and